rise and fall of Aztec Empire. A society that would grow to be among the most powerful in the pre-Columbian Americas emerged high above the Valley of Mexico, surrounded by towering mountains and glistening lakes. The Aztec Empire was a society of farmers, priests, traders, and warriors that dominated what is now central Mexico. It was based at Tenochtitlan, its majestic capital. It had a sophisticated political structure, a booming economy, and a bustling religious and cultural life at its height. The Aztecs are known for their ambition, cunning, and tenacity. They began as a small nomadic tribe, formed alliances, and overran nearby city-states to become an empire that ruled over hundreds of thousands of people. Their towns were engineering wonders with canals, temples, and marketplaces, and their culture blended religious devotion with military skill. However, the empire's remarkable ascent was followed by an equally spectacular decline. The Aztec Empire will be destroyed by Spanish conquistadors under Hernán Cortés in less than a century. Complex internal and external factors, including sickness, social unrest, governmental instability, and foreign invasion, led to its collapse. Understanding the Aztec narrative entails comprehending the ingenuity and vulnerability of human empires. History and initial development. Originally a nomadic people, the Aztecs, also called the Mexica, moved into the Valley of Mexico in the 13th century. Their gods supposedly led them to a spot where they would spot an eagle perched atop a cactus. Devouring a serpent, this scene became emblematic of Tenochtitlan in contemporary Mexico. The Mexica were initially treated as laborers and mercenaries by well-established city-states such as Texcoco and Tlacopan. Adaptability and the creation of strategic alliances were essential to their early survival. They went from being outsiders to powerful players over time, thanks to their military might and political savvy. Tenochtitlan was established by the Aztecs on a group of tiny islands in Lake Texcoco around the beginning of the 14th century. To accommodate an expanding population, they used clever engineering to construct canals, causeways, and chinampas, or floating gardens. 2. Triple alliance formation and political domination. When Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan formed the Triple Alliance in 1428, through this alliance, the Aztecs were able to impose their will on the neighboring city-states and demand tribute from the peoples they had subjugated. Tenochtitlan became the dominant partner in this arrangement. Under their intricate system of tribute, the Aztecs forced enslaved areas to provide luxury products, labor, food, and valuable metals. The capital was enhanced by this economic system, which also provided funding for additional military operations. The empire's political system was based on a Tlatoani emperor and a class of nobles and military commanders. The Aztec state maintained stringent tribute obligations while striking a balance between coercion and diplomacy, frequently installing obedient rulers in conquered lands. 3. Conquest and military power. The powerful military of the Aztec Empire drove its expansion. Due to their extensive training, warriors were arranged into societies according to their accomplishments and status. Winning battles was both a religious obligation and a means of achieving social mobility. Aztec combat relied heavily on capturing adversaries for ceremonial sacrifice, which strengthened the state's power. Plans for military operations were carefully thought out, emphasizing both intimidation and conquest. To increase its power, the empire engaged in strategic marriages, alliances, and psychological warfare. Resistant cities were frequently destroyed or incorporated into the tribute system. 4. Society, culture, and religion. Aztec culture was based on religion, which influenced daily life, politics, and the economy. The god of war and sun was one of the strong deities that headed the Aztecs' polytheistic pantheon. It was believed that religious rites, especially those involving human sacrifice, were necessary to maintain cosmic equilibrium and the continuity of life. The Templo Mayor ruled over Tenochtitlan, a spiritual hub where rituals and sacrifices upheld imperial power. Commoners and slaves were at the bottom of the hierarchical society, which was topped by warriors, priests, and nobles. Tenochtitlan markets made it easier to exchange goods across great distances. 5. Fragility and internal tensions. The Aztec Empire had serious internal weaknesses despite its outward might. Conquered people's tribute frequently led to animosity and sporadic uprisings. Lower classes were under tremendous pressure from the social hierarchy and were responsible for the majority of work and taxes. There was little political centralization. Local leaders maintained control over their lands, and devotion to Tenochtitlan was frequently pragmatic rather than sincere. In addition, internal power struggles and succession issues periodically caused the empire to become unstable. External threats were able to take advantage of these tensions. Although the empire's military might made it seem unbeatable, the enslaved people's cooperation was crucial. This weakness would ultimately be a major factor in the Aztecs' demise. 6. Disease and the Spanish conquest. Hernán Cortés's arrival in 1519 signaled the start of the empire's swift demise. By creating partnerships with groups like the Tlaxcalans, who despised Aztec domination, Cortés took advantage of the unhappiness that already existed among the subject peoples. The conquistadors had an advantage thanks to Spanish military equipment, but illness was far more destructive. Europeans brought smallpox, which devastated the population, killing tens of thousands and destroying social and military institutions. Tenochtitlan was brutally and decisively besieged in 1521. The Aztec state was destroyed by sickness, European weapons, and allied indigenous armies. The fall of the city and the subsequent assassination of Emperor Moctezuma II signaled the end of the empire. A civilization that had ruled central Mexico for almost a century was destroyed in 2 years. 7. The Aztec Empire's legacy. The Aztec Empire's legacy endures despite its swift fall to Spanish conquest. Indigenous peoples have managed to preserve their culture, language Nahuatl, and customs. Underneath contemporary Mexico City are the ruins of Tenochtitlan, which serve as a reminder of Aztec urban planning and engineering. Spanish administration in the Americas was informed by the empire's economic networks, and colonial government was impacted by its political and social structures. Aztec literature, mythology, and art still influence contemporary Mexico and international research. The rise and fall of the Aztecs also provides timeless lessons about the vulnerability of even the strongest empires. States that appear to be at the pinnacle of their power can be destroyed by internal strife. One of the most striking and moving instances of human ambition and frailty in history is the Aztec Empire. From a downtrodden tribe to a powerful empire in a little more than a century, the Mexica developed a culture known for its military might, architectural wonders, advanced economy, and profound spirituality. The rise and fall of the Aztec Empire serves as a reminder that greatness is never assured and that historical factors, both internal and external, have the power to drastically alter civilizations. Let us know in the comments what you think about the rise and fall of Aztec Empire, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.